Well, good morning once again. We have the amazing opportunity today to hear from one of our missionaries out in Spain right now, Daniel Pesado. And Daniel has actually been in the mission field, and his wife Margarita. Welcome today to Fisher's Point. It's great to have you here. He's going to be sharing with us about what's going on around the world and even challenging our minds and our hearts to think more outside the box and outside of our own context and resources and all of that. But Daniel and Margarita have been out on the mission field for quite a while, since the 1980s, 1987. And he'll tell you more about the different iterations of everything that he's done and they've done in the mission field. But he was telling me earlier that he himself is a third-generation missionary. Yeah, okay, Nazarene, yeah, third-generation Nazarene, and his grandchildren are fifth generation then, you know. So, very, very excited to have Daniel here today. He'll talk about himself more than I will talk about him, but we every once in a while we get this opportunity to hear from missionaries, to hear what's going on outside of our four walls here, so that we can not only praise God, but also support the mission that's bigger than we are. So, Daniel, would you come up here and share with us, and you stand on up here.
Thank you so much. Well, good morning, everybody. You applaud my faith, am I right? Right. That you're going to like what I'm going to say? Thank you. That's encouraging. Thank you so much. Well, let me tell you, first thing, I was surprised to know that you were meeting the school. 99% of the times, it's a regular kind of a sanctuary where churches are meeting, and I love that. These old buildings, the traditional style, I'm not for it. I mean, honestly speaking, probably been on the mission field for 31 years now, and you will hear later that we have not even one sanctuary in Spain. And it's playing to our advantage, because we are forced to be outside of the four walls of the church. So it's helping us to grow over there. So first thing, I love the fact that you are meeting outside of a regular or traditional kind of a building. But also, I was excited to see a pastor that is kind of laid back pastor. Because I'm this kind of person too. I feel much better among these kind of people, environment. I feel probably this is because I'm from South America. I don't know, Latino people. Maybe it's that the reason, I don't know. But also, we have some common friends, very good friends. In fact, my best friend is the father of one of their friends from college, from Olivet. So they are also missionaries now, retired, and they went back to Argentina. He is from Argentina, she's from Brazil. So we have several things in common. Not just the philosophy or the view about ministry, but also friends, and hopefully from now on, a friendship as persons, as Christians, but also with the church. We are always looking for new friends, because in the mission field we need thousands of them for many reasons. You get some ideas as I shared about it. Also, thank you for the words about being a third generation. Margarita, by the way, she's a converted Catholic. She was raised Catholic, went to Catholic schools and things like that. And then probably some of the things are going to come out with the presentation. I have more than 50 slides, so I better go to what I need to share with you. It's gonna take forever. Let me read to you like a couple verses. It's like a frame for everything. My main concern all my life has been the church. The church that I received and the church that I'm gonna pass back to the ones behind me. I'm a third generation, so I run in the middle. My kids are 4, grandchildren are 5. So you see, we are right in the middle of something that God has been building for 2,000 years now. So I'm going to do my part, and I'm going to do it well. Paul is talking in 1 Corinthians 3 and admonishes us. says, be careful how you do it. Be careful. You know, the work that you are doing as a church is going to be tested. And he said even more, by fire. And he even said the work of many is going to be lost. And who wants to work all his or her life? And at the end, look back and see your work lost. I don't want to be in that particular situation. So you need to follow principles, biblical principles, to do it God's way. And there are many places that you can choose from on the Bible, but I'm going to read a very well-known story that we use the story to do evangelism, in fact, because this is when a paralytic man is healed by Jesus. The transformation that he experienced is amazing. The power of the gospel is changing his life. But if you look carefully, a second look to the whole story, there are 12 verses over there. You'll find I found already 14, 15 principles that you can apply to the work that you are doing here. And I'm a preacher, but I cannot preach today. So I feel desperate for preaching. But it's not today like a preaching day for me. So, but let me just read to you the first two verses and the last one, and you know the story really well, and hopefully it relates to what I'm going to show you. It says, a few days later, when Jesus again entered Capernaum, there is one massive here, the first one, again. That word is important, again, because he used to come where he was. He was in Galilee. What he was doing there, preaching, teaching here. And he is again in Capernaum. What's he doing here? Preaching, teaching in it. See, the first principle is so massive that sometimes we don't see. Jesus was always on mission. It doesn't really matter where he was. It doesn't really matter with whom. It doesn't really matter the day of the week. He was always on mission. He never forgot the reason that the Father has sent him forward. But he says, people heard. That's another principle. People need to hear that he had come to hear that beautiful word home. That Jesus is back. What about it? Do we have a better news than this one? That Jesus is back. Oh, hear about it. Did you hear about this guy in Louisiana asking $54 million to buy a plane? That really hurt the church, hurt people. The one that are suspicious about the preachers of the churches of the gospel, but still they know that they need Jesus. If we go and say that Jesus is back, the real Jesus is back, oh, that changes everything. And so many gathered, another principle. That there was no room left, not even outside the door. And he preached the word to them, another principle. There are many principles there. And then you know the story of Jack, the last verse, and one more principle over there. It says, he got up, the paralytic man, took his mat, and walked out in full view of them all. And this amazed everyone and here. And they started to celebrate. They started to praise God, saying we have never seen anything even close to that. We read it so many times that we forget the excitement, the newness of the miracle, what happened there. But for them, oh, we have never seen anything like it. Well, let's see the pictures. When you see a missionary, whoever she or he may be, we are not missionaries because we want to be missionaries. We are missionaries because we are forced to be missionaries, because God calls us to be. We are obeying a call. And what you see over there is the expression or the extension of the International Church of Missionary. This is the regional office in Buenos Aires, Argentina. Because we are from Argentina. That's the reason, because of the accent. Do I have an accent? See, and we used to live about less than an hour from there. So we are really part of what we call the International Church of the Nazarene. We became really international eventually in the Church of the Nazarene. We have today missionaries from at least 38 different nations of the world. That speaks volumes about the desire of the church to reach the whole world. The next picture you see our pastors. So we are not just an international thing, but also we are part of the local churches. In fact, the local church is the only church that really exists. You are an expression of the real church. So they were pastors. They passed away many years ago, but they didn't have a lot of knowledge. They didn't have a lot of philosophy on their mind, but they loved God. And they loved people. And they loved us. And they taught us how to use our lives in a way that can be really fruitful for God's purposes. So that's one more reason because we are missionaries today. The next picture, you see mom and dad. Mom was really sick, battling Parkinson's disease. That was the last picture that we got together, by the way. So that's the reason because it's important to me or to us. And they are a second generation of Christians. My mom was raised in a Christian Nazarene family. And then she knew Oscar and he became a Christian. Then they married. And then my brother and myself and so on. So people that has been faithful for more than 55 years to God and to the church. One more reason, because we are serving God as missionaries today. The next picture, you see the family as it is today. So we have our daughter Natalia right in the middle. She lives in Marion, Kansas. She studies psychology, she's a counselor. We're there, married to Diego, he's a nurse. And then to the left, you have Ignacio. He lives in Madrid, Spain now. He's a pastor. Nazarene pastor, obviously, there in Spain. He went as a kid, and he grew up over there. He married there. He became a pastor. He went to the college in Switzerland, and so on. So he's serving God also on the family. And then the youngest is Federico. He studied computer science in Mid-America. And then when he finished, he went back to Buenos Aires. And he's still single. So if you know a lady which is about 28, 29, 30 or so, let me know. I would like to have a picture if possible. So after the service, we can talk about it. We can make a deal. It's going to be free. Don't worry about it. You don't need to pay for it. In fact, I will encourage you. I'm going to give you Freddy and the dog. Or for the same purpose. Okay. Well, that's the way we replace kids. With dogs. When they left the house, you know, the empty nester kind of feeling that is hard sometimes. My wife said, this is too quiet, too silent. So we got Bonnie, and we tried to replace kids with a dog. And you know what we found out? We found out that dogs are cheaper than kids. So we start to save money now for retirement. Next picture, please. Well, we became grandparents. Probably you guessed that already. She was the first grandson. A friend of mine called it the dessert of life. The best for the last part of life. On the next picture, you see these two live in Spain. Lucia is 1 year old and Lujan is 4 years old. And these are the daughters of the pastors in Barcelona and Madrid right now. The next picture, they are there with mom and dad. The next picture, what about that one? These are the twins. I took the picture, by the way. This is not from a magazine, I took it. These are from a daughter, the one that lives in Kansas City, or Marion, Kansas. Camila and Sofia. We saw them the day before yesterday. We didn't see them for 24 hours, and we are missing them already. So the next picture, you see them. They are right there with mom and dad. They are 3 years old. So the next picture. Okay, let me stop a little bit. The reason because I show it is my mic is the one making the noise.
Try the handheld.
Maybe it's here.
Yeah, the connection.
It was that. I'm just kidding, that's the problem. What about now?
Yeah.
Better? Okay. The reason because I showing these pictures is because think about it. What happened at the end of the 1800s, 1892, a family moved from Italy to Buenos Aires. And at the beginning of the 1800s, missionaries were looking for a place to start a church, one of the first national churches in Buenos Aires and Argentina, in fact. And they were in a small town looking for a house. They didn't have anything there, so they found a family. Guess what? They had mom, dad, and 21 children. So if you are trying to start a church, and you find a family of 23, you pretty much got the church already. So these were my grandfather and mother, one from Italy to Buenos Aires. They were the first generation, my mom was the second. She was the youngest of the 21, and there are two Oscars I mentioned. My brother and myself are third generation, our kids are fourth generation, our grandchildren are fifth generation. See, what I'm trying to say to you is thank you so much for being faithful to the nations. What is in front of you this very morning is a result of your investment, your prayers, especially, your offerings. For how many years? You've been supporting missionaries, working there. See, probably the hardest part of all is sending your sons and daughters to us. So here we are, coming to you even with this strong accent. So basically your fault. You did such a good job that we need to hear missionaries with such a strange accent from all over the world today. So that means that we are doing well about missions. So we need to continue doing that. We are doing well, but we didn't finish yet. So thank you so much for being faithful to missions all these years, and let's continue to do that. What you see over there is what we are serving. We are working with church planting and evangelism from Portugal to Greece. This is what we call the Western Mediterranean field. We live in Spain. It's about 170, 80 million people that we want to reach. We have about 50 churches already growing and doing well over there in this country. Some countries are growing faster than other ones. So, but we are growing in the Western Mediterranean field. The next picture, you see how Catholic a country like Spain may be. 98.5. This is the most Catholic country in the whole world, more than even Italy. So I took the picture from the window of the house. Next picture, the same street. See, we don't live in houses, we don't see grass, we have no greenery around. The first street is about 3 blocks from the house. That's where we live. The building that we are living in is like the ones on the front side of the street. So, see, it's a very different, completely different. There are no monkeys, there are no snakes, there are no hippos there. If I want to see a monkey, I need to go to the zoo. Right? Probably you have to do too. So, you see, we live right in the 7.5 million people city. But if you ask, let's wonder that Paul the Apostle were alive today, and you ask Paul the Apostle, Paul, where are you going to live? Guess what? What would be his answer? Papua New Guinea, right in the middle of nowhere, on the Amazon forest over there in Peru, Brazil? No, I said, no, send me to Madrid or New York or the big city where most of the people are. I want to be just right in the middle of the people. So there we are. The next picture, that's the living room of the house. We live in a 4-story building that has been built with alabaster funds. So these are essential to us. We live in a kind of duplex, second and third floor as part of the house. And these are leaders from the field. We were planning where and how to start new churches because this is the most effective method to reach new people for Jesus. Start new churches, so congratulations. You are doing the best that you can do to reach new people for the Lord. Start new churches, the most effective. Somebody said that in the 60s. We are not that smart to discover that. It was Peter Warner that said that in the 60s, I think he said that. So you are doing excellent. That's what you are supposed to do, and that's what we are doing over there too. Next picture. So, but if you want a church, you need pastors, and that's one of the first challenges that we have. There are not very many pastors. In fact, we are desperate for pastors. But this is not a problem that
that we only have the space everywhere. So we try to identify and train them by extension from the college that used to be in Switzerland, now is in Frankfurt, in Germany. The next picture, we use every single event to talk to them about the call, like this 370 youth, men and women conference that we have. The next picture, that's me preaching on the call in a camp meeting that we have every third week of August. 120, 30, 40 people, which is a huge event for Spain. The next picture, and once we train them, we just give the church away. We love the church. That's the only, I said to people, see, if I wait something in life, and I receive a lot already, but if I wait something else, it's going to be from God and through the church of me. That's my plan. The only plan we have. We love the church, but it's not my church. So we need to trust. We need to release this thing that we love so much, which is the church. So we do that. The next picture, we have hundreds, literally, of baptisms. This is our son, he baptized 18 that day. The next picture, it's going to be me, 13. The next picture, I think 7 more that day. The next picture, even before I came here, like 3 weeks before, I baptized these 3 teenagers. We baptize pretty much every 3 months or so. We don't wait much. I see no reason to wait anywhere in the Bible. The next picture, well, you know probably him, Dr. Jerry Porter, the former general superintendent of the church. We worked together with his wife, Margarita and myself from Morocco, a few months ago. You know he's there right now. He's there. He's there. He's learning the language. He wrote to me about 3 weeks ago, said, we are doing fine, we're in the language. And he said something interesting. He said, we are making contacts by grace. I don't know how deep these contacts are, how deep the relationship is. Friends, converts, contacts by grace, I don't know exactly the meaning. I'm going to check probably soon again with them. But we were walking on the marketplace in Marrakech, Morocco, and I said, why don't you pretend that you are knocking the door of a particular place? And we are calling the picture knocking the doors of Morocco. But you know, the best way to do it is by prayer. They need a lot of prayer. 33 million people that have no clues about the Bible, about Jesus, about God. A very strong Muslim country. So let's support Morocco and the Porters with prayer, please. We need them to be covered by our prayers regularly. Next picture, we were passing by and then I saw a camera and I said to Margarita, why don't you go close to the camera and take a picture? And she is obedient, she's a good wife. She went close to the camera. And the owner of the camel was there and said, why don't you sit on the camel? See, she's not just good, she's also naive. So she sat on the camel. And as soon as she sat on the camel, the guy said something like, and you know what happened? The camel started to stand, and they are huge. And when she saw how far on the floor, she started shouting, you know, screaming over there. But still, she's a great courageous because I didn't even go close to the camel. So that was a nice moment over there. The next picture, I'm going to show you a few pictures of Spain and then I'll tell you why. This is the wonderful, beautiful medieval city of Avila, 900 years old. This is about 50 minutes north of Madrid. The next picture is perfect. This is a new picture, by the way. This is the oldest restaurant in the world. They are serving meals in 1517. You can check on the Guinness Books of the Records about it. This is just about 1.5 blocks from Main Square, downtown Madrid. When you go inside, there are several floors. You go really deep down, and then a couple of floors, you know, on top of the street. This is like going back 500 years when you get into there. The next picture, what about that? The Roman aqueduct of the city of Segovia, also now northeast of Madrid. See, when who likes American Pickers, the show on TV? Yeah, what about Paul Stars? I like Paul Stars. I like Chong Li. But also even the Antibro show, this kind of boring, but still I love it because I love history, I love all stuff. So it's funny because when somebody takes something over there and they show, says, that's old, how old? That's 8 years old. It has been on the family forever. No, that's not old here. That's old. Had to be at least 500 years to say that something is old. The reason because I'm emphasizing that is think about it. When we are trying to evangelize somebody, how many layers of traditions we need to go through to reach to the heart of somebody. It's not easy. It's possible. But I'm not saying it's not impossible. I mean, I'm not saying it is impossible. It is possible. But it's not easy. So we need the Holy Spirit to help us on that. The next picture. Moorish, or the Arabs, were living 700 years on the peninsula. And whatever they built is magnificent. Probably you're familiarized with the Alhambra in Grenada. This is one of the wonders of the world, but beautiful. This is from the city of Sevilla on the south. A wonderful palace. That one used to be a patio with the big guy used to have the concubines, sometimes 40, 50 of them. I don't know quite. One is enough. I don't know why they didn't want to, but they built this wonderful, beautiful. The next picture. This is an hour south of Madrid, the city of Toledo. Charles V was planning to build. He was the king of Germany and Spain at the same time, and he wanted to have the capital of the head of his empire over there. And he started to build this magnificent city. And the wonderful thing about that, you see the walls below, but also the wonderful thing over there is that you can see the Moorish or the Arab, the Christian and the Jew culture all together in that particular city, which is amazing. I've seen people crying when they look at the city from the hill, like we took a picture. Next picture, meals, food. What about, did you hear about the Mediterranean diet? The healthiest diet in the world. Well, I'm not a good example of it, I'm sorry, but this is the healthiest diet of the world. And this is one of the dishes, paella, mostly rice and seafood, and they taste terrific. And the one more picture, okay, that's Margarita wearing this is southern Spain. April, May, maybe now, first week of June, they have fairs on every single town, and people wear these traditional dresses, and they ride these horses that they walk like that. You see the boyfriend or the husband riding the horse and the lady behind it. It's a beautiful thing to see. Well, the reason because I show in all these pictures is because we need a worker with this team. If you come over and help us, we take you to see some of these things. That's a promise, and missionaries cannot lie. So think about it, pray about it. We cannot hold a big team. It has to be between 8, 10, maximum 12 people. And the project is about 6,000 euros, or maybe $7,000 today. It's not a huge amount of money. It's some money, yes. So think about it. I think 12 people can make it for about, effort included, about 1,600. Everything included, the tickets, the staying, and the money for the project. So think about it. I'll be praying about it. Next picture. Okay, some of the churches. We started the church in '97, and we bought with an alabaster fan a place. It used to be a store where they used to get windows for glasses for windows and stuff. And the church grew. This is pictures. The church is packed already, so they need to start a second service or relocate and see what's going to be there. The next picture, this is the church of Sevilla. You see, we have columns there. They used to fix machines to do bread over there. There are no sanctuaries, as I said. We bought that one in '98, partially with alabaster funds. The next picture, that's the church that we are pastoring. Used to be a garage. We live on top of the church. The first thing that I did when I took over the church years ago, 2.5 years ago, was to replace these chairs. Are normal here, but for us are too wide because there is no room. So we have a Costco now in Madrid, and I found a narrower chair, and then I bought 130, and it's already packed. But we sat with these chairs 18 more people. It's packed already. But anyway, we are dealing with that regularly. Next picture, that's the church in Barcelona where Sam is the pastor, and they have 2 columns because there used to be 2 garages together. I was telling Pastor how challenging it may be because neighbors are complaining about what they call noise. We call it worship, but they call it noise. And our son, the city came over, closed the place. For a year and a half, they were meeting in a hotel, and they spent every single money they have saved for different projects. And beside that, it took 80,000 euros to unsonorize the place. So it's really challenging, but still, we are growing. Church is back. This church and the one in Madrid, the 2 hours are about 125, 130 each of them. Next churches, next picture. That's a new church. The pastor is a medical doctor. He used to be a drunkard. Really bad, drunk kind of people. And he used to sleep on the streets. But he became a Christian. First his wife, Mirta, became a Christian. And she prayed 3 years. And then he became a Christian. And now he's a pastor. He's also teaching college level, some classes in, I don't know exactly, medicine, has to do with medicine. And another reason because he has some kind of younger people. Next picture, that's a mission. It's not a church, it's a preaching point, north of Barcelona. One more picture, please. That's the way we start churches. We have no sanctuary, so we start in apartments. We don't even have houses in the sense of that you call a house in here. So when we know that there is an Nazarene family becoming moving or a new convert, we ask them, would you open your house for a Bible study? And they say yes. So we start to testify around them. When we have a new convert on the same place, say, would you open your house too? So we have 2 houses in the same neighborhood, and then 3, and then 4. When we have a small number of believers, what we do is we rent a place. In the next picture, you see the first day that we get these first 21 members ever on that particular city, and we start the church. Quite naturally, that sounds like Acts of the Apostles, way of starting churches. Next picture, we need to translate materials. I've been working here 6 years with MPH, so I learned how to do that. So we are doing regularly every single month. We are translating holiness material, discipleship training, curriculum for Sunday school, everything we need. The next picture, I was the district superintendent of Italy, even though I was living in Madrid, so distances are really short over there. The ones I have in Europe, they know what I'm talking about. It took me to be like an hour, 20 minutes to get from Madrid to, let's say, basically speaking, Rome or Milan. And I could do it for 70 euros sometimes. Really cheap now with these low-cost companies. I'm going to show you 3 pictures of Italy. This is the newest sanctuary in Europe. Italians, they have 5 sanctuaries. This is the newest in Europe, a beautiful church building in Catania, also a church. The next picture is going to be the oldest by contrast, in the 60s from Rome. Today you can go on top of the small chapel below. It's like a bed and breakfast. If you go to Rome, you can spend there a few nights for a few euros. The next picture, and this is the farthest north, south, central, and north, on the city of Torino, nearby Milano, nearby to the border with, basically speaking, with Switzerland. A wonderful church, a wonderful story. They were struggling with a pastor, 8 years, 5 members. 8 years, 5 members. Can you imagine going to assembly? 8 years in a row saying 5, 5, 5, 5. That's horrible. You don't even want to hear that because that's discouraging. Well, this couple took over, and in 5 months, 6 months, they won 55 new people. Wow. So they did such a wonderful job that they removed them from their church, and they are now the district superintendent in Portugal. But there is another wonderful couple continue the same strategy, and still the church is growing. The next picture. This is one of the newest churches that we organized a few months ago, in fact, more than a year ago now, in Zaragoza. We started the first church with Margarita. Every Friday, we drove 3 hours from Madrid to Zaragoza, have a service with one family. The best Fridays, we have 4, sometimes just 1, 3 hours, and 3 hours back, because our kids were still kind of really young, they needed us at home. So, but eventually, in 2 years, we got 14 new converts. And then we rent a place, and then we bought a place, and then the pastor, which is kneeling to the right with a big round smiling face, he moved over, and the church grew really fast. And he started the second church, which is this one that we were organizing that day, and the pastor is the one in front of him. And they are talking about the third church, and the pastor, he already moved there, is going to be the young man with the red tie behind it. So, see, by the way, the church, the pastor to the right is the one that we want to help with the work and with him, because they are doing a wonderful job, evangelizing and starting new churches. The next picture, well, this is the newest, has been in October. Organized, we started it about 2.5 years ago with a family, mostly one family and one lady, and now we had a miracle over there. Pastor, next picture, you see the pastor, Julie, he was literally dying. He had leukemia. And when we learned about it, I said, oh, that's going to be a problem because we're going to be losing the work that we've been doing for more than 2 years. His wife is going to be losing a husband. Kids are going to be losing a father. Everything is going to be lost. We started to pray. And I called the States, Argentina, Spain, hundreds of people praying. And a few months ago, coming out of the doctor's office, he called me and said, Daddy, you know what? He was crying. He said, Dr. Fonda, I'm healed. I've been clean. Oh, I couldn't believe it. Can you imagine when he made it back home? That produced a revival in the church. So we were able to organize the church faster than ever because what happened in his life? See, the point here is, you see, God is always backing up what we are trying to do for His glory. We are never alone. He's always right behind us, helping us to do more, to do better. Saying, you are not alone, I'm here. See me how I'm working in your midst. The next picture, I have no Chinese members on the church. I said, I know that there is 1.4 billion Chinese in the world. We have none in the church. But I said, what's wrong with us? Because I see around the church some Chinese people. And all of a sudden, the first couple to the right came over, and then they invited them, to make a long story short. A few weeks before I came here, we received the first 7 members. And I know now there are at least 3 more attending church, so probably, I don't know who's what they happen. But knowing myself, I would love to have a Chinese church over there. So we are excited about that Chinese people, and they pray a lot. Next picture. Some of the pastors, we are missing 5 over there. People with, just to see them, you can imagine how the limitations that they may have. But still they love God. And they are available, which is the most important thing at the end. The next picture. Okay, we have a non-missionary. This is superintendent eventually in Spain. This is our son. He went like a kid. He grew up over there. And you know what? He became the youngest denomination ever. He was 28. Let me tell you something. To my taste, to my understanding, it was a little too young. When we learned about it, said, oh my goodness, 28. I became one when I was, I think, 34, 35. Still young, but you know, compared to that, I was old to be a teacher superintendent. You know, the mission fields, and that's the thing that we are missing the most. Things are more flexible. It's different over there. So we have more freedom to do things that you wouldn't even try some places like right here, for example. But he's doing well. He's humble enough to learn, to ask advices. So he's growing, and the church is growing with them. The next picture, what about this guy? He's not dead, by the way, don't worry about it. He was snoring, making noise. But you know, the funny thing is that, you know where he was? He was across the street of the Roman Coliseum. Now, if you know the place, thousands of tourists every single time, every single hour during the day, from all over the world. And he was supposed to be carrying tourists in his car to make some money to feed his family and so on. But he fell asleep. See, life is so good there. He had everything he needed, plus the Italian sun, and it was warm, he was satisfied with life. He fell asleep there. So he's helped me to understand the spiritual condition in Europe. Think about it. we have the gospel because they brought it here. And now, that's how they look like. And we were chatting with Pastor before the service. It maybe happened something like that also here. There are some signals already. But you know, I believe in fact, it was funny because instead of taking pictures of the Coliseum, people start to take pictures of the guy. He's famous. He doesn't even know it, but he's famous. People all over the world with pictures. But you see, I believe that's the reason because we are there, to wake people like him up. That's the reason because we have missionaries in Europe, but not just in Europe, but I come from there. So, with your help, we want to continue doing that over there. The next picture, that's Margarita and myself, without the goatee. The next picture, you see the call we have, which we do to the poor, freedom for the prisoners, recovery sight for the blind, relief of bread, claiming the end of the Lord favor. And that's the call we have. And you know who said that. These are big words. That was Jesus on the Sabbath day he said that. You know what? Even though these are big words, I think, like I read at the beginning from Mark chapter 2, we all can do something to cooperate with him on building his church. We all have a call to participate on that particular way. And the next picture, you see the last one, and that's what I would like you to pray about it. We need your support. We need your prayers. More than anything else, we need your prayers. If you pray about mission, thank you so much. If you are praying, pray more about mission. If you are praying, please start praying about mission. Daily. It doesn't take much time. We need a revival, God's move. See, the trend is the same everywhere. Latin America is in the middle of, it was in the middle of revival in the 80s, 90s, but now it started slowing down. It probably is going to be like North America sooner, or even like Europe later. So it's a regular trend for the God's movement just to slow down and cool down, and we don't want that anywhere in the world. So we need pastors, new leaders, we need converts, because everything is about people getting to know Jesus, and eventually we want the ability or the resources to organize them in new churches, because this is the most effective method. We are convinced about it. To remember you, that particular prayer, I have some cards with me. There is these 4 petitions, and there is our email with him too. So, can we give one per family? I think we have enough. Can somebody help me to pass it out? Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. So remember, don't worry about the name of the missionaries. God knows. Remember Europe. Remember Morocco. Remember the ports. Please include them in the prayers. Greece, we tried twice. We sent missionaries to Greece, and they never allowed missionaries in. They don't grant visas over there. So we need to try a 3rd time in Greece. So let's pray about Greece. We are working with refugees, but not churches as such in Greece. So we need a lot of your prayer. Pastor, I've been trying just to save some time for you, because the rest of this is more time on the problem. Thank you so much. May God bless you. Appreciate that time.